100 players were split onto 6 different continents: Asia, Australia, Europe, Africa, South America, and lastly North America, home to yours truly. I will be surviving amongst the other 100 players to get the real-world accounts of what takes place here. Every nation starts out with their own structures and towns that they have to loot in order to fare against the competition. What will ensue amongst these citizens? Peace or violence? Will these 6 nations come together and rule under a collective order? Or will war ravage the land, leaving one victor at our feet? This is 100 Players Simulate World War. As all 100 players were released from their imprisonment, Phase 1 had started. Each team has 15 minutes to scout their land and gather as much loot as possible. I started with the team in North America, land home to tobacco and more cornfields than you can count on your left foot. We ran into the forest, grabbing all the wood we could need for our tools, upgraded to stone, and we were off to our adventure. Every team seemed to be doing the same thing, wanting to truly know who could get to diamonds first. A little bit of exploring later, and our North American team stumbled upon an old western village. It was full of crops, animals that were killed very quickly, and an abundance of gold, not unlike the California gold rush in the 1850s. Okay, yeah, I may have been the one who killed all the animals, by the way. We just don't mention that part. Cutting over to Africa, they seem to have found an old pyramid with an Egyptian pharaoh guarding the tomb inside. While Africa was struggling to get the loot from inside the temple, most people had started their journey down below in the caves. We didn't have long to get our gear up before the grace period ended, so we spent most of the phase underground. Africa, finally making their way inside the temple, had found a trident, a netherite helmet, and tons of gold. Things seemed to be going extremely well for these guys. Speaking of doing well, I was one of the lucky players on my team, constantly stumbling upon diamonds. This made it really easy for me to have high confidence over other players. And while I was accomplishing that goal, our leader, Ryan, and his 2 bodyguards, Blueby and Toying, went searching the land. They were scouting out the US, Mexico, and Canada for places to build a base. However, time-wise, it made more sense to just settle in the western village. Once grace period was over, Team Africa decided to get the jump on Australia, the land down under. So they headed out in boats after getting mediocre gear to take on the spider-wielding, snake-throttling, kangaroo-punching menaces. Once they got there, they showed us their sneak level 1000 while slowly making their way to Australia's base, which was a gigantic village on top of a mountain, clearly giving them the advantage over Team Africa. However, once they climbed the ropes and searched the village, no one was there, and they had thought they got there too late, even though grace period had just ended. That was until one of their teams spotted them over by a sugarcane field. It seems Australia were just simple farmers. Sword and his team ambushed Australia, trying to get the upper hand quickly in battle. Australia began pushing back, trying to gain cover from the house that they were held up against. The only one seeming to be doing any damage to Africa was the man with the trident, and over the course of this fight, he was the true MVP. They managed to make it to boats and regroup at the ocean. Being individually hunted by the Africa team, Australia started to meet up in the ocean for an underwater battle. Australia soon gained the upper hand, and everyone in chat was extremely ecstatic that an entire team was going down. Sword kept his distance during the battle, using his power 2 bow to try and take out Australia, while the Trident Man kept launching his loyal trident out into the ocean, dwindling down the Africa team. Soon, Africa seemed to be popping like flies, and Sword had to get out of there. His plan had backfired. Him and only 2 other members of Team Africa were able to survive the onslaught of the Australians. Apparently, a sneak attack was the only thing they were prepared for, and Africa stood no chance against the PvP skills of Australia. While that all went down, Europe and Asia actually came to a peace treaty. The Eiffel Tower and the Coliseum shook hands and teamed up to form the biggest nation in this entire event. Later, you'll see how well that worked out for them. And before we get too far into the video, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Project Arrival. Project Arrival is a futuristic sci-fi survival game. Adventure the open world collecting materials to craft your own base of operations, as well as crafting your own weapons to use in the wilderness. The graphics make these weapons look so cool, whether you're rocking an old-fashioned grenade launcher or a high-powered futuristic rifle. Also, make sure to check out the amazing architecture found throughout the world, creating a truly immersive experience into the future. Create your own astonishing builds using blueprint, templates, or do it yourself with various customization options to build your ideal home. Just look at this modern house. I wish I had this in real life. Once you're tired and venture home, adopt a cute pet. This corgi has the key to my heart. And don't forget to drip out your character with new headpieces and backpacks showing your wealth. Project Arrival has started a closed beta for Android users in the UK and Canada, starting April 22nd and ending May 2nd. Use the link in my description to try this next-gen sci-fi survival game. For you and other regions and platforms, stay tuned for more updates in the community of Project Arrival. Who knows how fast you can rise to power and conquer the intense sci-fi terrain. Back in North America, things were going well. We are getting enchants, we had diamond armor, we found netherite boots, our team was solid. However, after getting word about the Europe and Asia treaty, we knew we had to do something drastic. So our president Ryan hopped in a call with the leader of South America and had a little bit of a chat. The results gave us massive hope.
Alright, they offered us peace, blada yada yada.
So I decided to hop in a call with them and check out the real deal.
Okay, so have you decided?
Yeah, I've delegated with the delegators, and we delegated a decision. And the decision is, we're up for it. We've got a village here in North America, and I can send you the coordinates to that. We can meet up. We got some diamonds, an enchant table, etc. And we can start working towards, getting our gear upgraded, so then we can go attack some other nations.
Do you guys want us to come to you guys?
All
And
that
you
kinda
won't crossroads.
No.
Okay, I'll tell my team to come to you guys now.
And that was it. We've officially united the Americas. We now are on the exact same playing field as Asia and Europe. Unfortunately, Africa and Australia were never able to team up and had that huge fight at the beginning, otherwise they might have stood a chance against us now. We met up with the South American team at our western village, and oh boy, we looked great, having so many people combined in one effort. The first thing that we wanted to do was travel to Africa and finish off Sword's team. We were hoping that they were there either at their old base or still gathering up more materials in order to survive this war. Landing in Africa with two nations combined was probably one of the coolest things I've seen yet. We journeyed inward and found Africa's main base of operations. When we were there, we definitely didn't steal all of the good stuff inside of their chests, making it impossible for them to come back here for resources. And while that was happening, a few of our members actually continued searching Africa and found Sword. Bluebee, Sicko, and Duck chased him throughout the ocean while he continued trying to escape. Sword made it to land while his team showed up from behind, making it a fair 3v3. Sicko and Duck turned around to take care of the people behind them, making short work of the rest of the Africa team. However, that left Bluebee in a 1v1 against Sword. With Sword's trident and PvP skills, Bluebee was taken down pretty quickly. Our first North American death. Sword managed to escape the battle, but he is now the last Africa member standing. At first, they started off strong, finding some of the best gear in the game from their temple, but he single-handedly led his entire team to death. He now has to survive solo to keep the memory of his fellow members. Things got quiet for a little while. There wasn't any fighting and no one knew where anyone was. We went to Australia to see if we can find any of the Aussies. However, we ended up just kind of sitting at their castle for a little while. At one point, I thought that I would be able to find somebody in Europe, so I actually headed out on my own. I was able to find some really cool builds, including a gigantic woodland mansion makeover, I guess? I went inside, checked it out, and there ended up being a Prop 4 villager in there, which means whoever was on the Asian team is going to be stacked out of their mind. I continued searching until I found a coliseum, but it was empty as well, which means they have to be in North America at this point. So the only thing I could really do was get in a boat, head home, and meet up with fellow members. While teams were lurking around, not really doing much, we decided to sit at our village for a little while. We figured if we were going to get into an all-out war, it would be best to do it on our terrain. And while waiting, we even gave out the coords to our base and told everyone to come here so that we could do an all-out brawl. NA and SA versus Asia and Europe. And the idea of that fight happening definitely didn't disappoint. While we were fortifying our base, we had word that there was an enemy in front of it. Apparently, somebody spotted Sword trying to get close to NA. However, at the exact same time, Europe and Asia were lining up behind our base to do an all-out assault. At this point in the video, Ryan's computer had already crashed, so I was now the leader of North America. Realistically, I had to lead these guys into battle against the second biggest army. Being full diamond armor only made me like a mid player on my team, especially since we have two players with netherite. So doing what I thought was right, I went ahead and set my army against Europe and Asia while I took out Sword, which means we'd be taking out 3 nations at once. I was going to make this Africa's last stand. Sword and I traded bow shots for a little while until it became close combat. This is an all-out leader versus leader duel. Who will win? I started off strong even though it was a sword versus an axe, and I am so not used to this PvP. We were trading hits, I was doing my best to get around him when all of a sudden his axe crit did way more damage than I predicted. At one point I definitely had to back up to eat a gapple because I was worried if he got one more axe crit I might have been gone. While doing so, I placed lava so he'd back off, and that was the exact play that happened. He ran away into the river, and I was able to chase behind him and crit him a couple times while he was in the water, finally ending Sword and the rule of Africa. But while that fight went down, things were escalating in the other war going on. Dozens of people were dropping, and things seemed to be going really fast, everyone dropping like flies. At first, it looked like we were taking a massive beating. That was until all of our players started grouping up and taking out their big dogs. Europe and Asia were suffering major casualties at this point, and this is when I showed up to the battle. Things were going horribly for them and amazing for us, and I was on the perfect flank. I was able to cut off a few of their members and start bowing them down with Sword's Power 2 bow that I got from his body. That's when a large group of North Americans started pushing the rest of Europe and Asia, and we were able to take out the competition like that. European death after European death. It was an absolute massacre, and I don't think we lost a singular person. This battle was won before it even begun. We are now a major superpower in this game. We've taken out almost 3 teams already, and things were just getting started. North America and South America split up for the final time after defeating Europe and Asia. Our North American team met up in our western village while they were outside of it, actually at a grave site to one of their fallen. On the North American team, we were discussing whether or not it was good to have South America in the final battle, which was taking place in 15 minutes. Sword was going to be TPing every single team to the Coliseum, where we would fight in an all-out brawl. Being the leader of North America, that means that every single decision is on my hands, so whether or not we kill South America is pretty much up to me. We visited them at their gravesite and paid a little homage to the men fallen, but at this point I was really wondering if we should kill them or not. Especially since some of their members have better gear, including tridents and netherite armor. At this point, I feel like it's a good decision to at least get them lower in numbers, especially since if we're gonna go one-on-one in the final battle, it's going to be very close. So I organized my team so that they would focus certain men. We needed to get rid of their leaders so that they were scattered, and we definitely needed to get rid of the netherite guy. So I put multiples on each, and I was going to be taking out the leader. And that's when war broke loose on the battlefield once more. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Wait, where's FC? I don't know where FC is. There he is.
Wait, he's got a nether
Go
attack.
FC, go for FC, go for FC.
Alright, I killed Spooner,
4 times.
I think yeah, target him.
I quit him another time.
I'm coming.
He's low because he put his water.
Killed
Nice.
another.
Nice.
He's a sweat. Okay.
Gaming view right here, gaming view.
I killed him.
Nice.
Gaming view's low, super low.
I am.
Someone boost me,
I got the leggings.
Nice.
I'm half
He's one HP.
I killed him. Can I please
I
have
can't
some
do
second?
that. I'm not close enough.
Wait, who killed it? Who killed it?
I did, Siko.
Got him.
Oh,
Nice, let's go.
I think.
Everyone, if you can, get to the gravesite. If you're not still fighting.
We're still fighting.
Bro, we just annihilated them. How many of them
Absolutely.
Wait, there's only like 4 left.
Yo, does anybody want to?
Yo, yes, you got him. Nice.
Anybody
That's what
want
we
a
needed. Good job.
piercing? Oh,
Wait,
God. Okay.
who's this guy? Wait, who are you? Get him, he's behind.
Go.
Get him.
Who is that?
How is this guy still running?
Why did he come back? I don't know.
Maybe he thought he could clean up.
He's going up.
I'm
go.
taking back.
Try and all follow.
Oh, he's gonna knock you off. Watch out.
Careful.
I got him off.
He's dead.
Oh,
Let's
my
go!
Nice.
God, he crashed the boat. No.
And with that final hit, we had finally killed out almost every single South American. 2 of them were able to escape, but that doesn't really matter because the Coliseum fight is going to be a massacre. I realized that we just backstabbed one of our greatest allies. But in the Coliseum fight, we now have a huge advantage over everybody, having the most players and the best possible gear. The main reason I did this was because of Australia. Think back to when I found that mansion with the Prop 4 villager. If they had found him and used him, that means that we have a huge fight among us even if we have 2 more players. So South America was an absolute sacrifice play that we had to do. And after that major betrayal, we were teleported directly into the Coliseum. The final battle was about to begin. They broke out through the side.
Yeah.
The battle had started, and the first thing we did was go for Asia. We wanted to clear out every single team possible right off the rip. Yep, alright, got him. After he was dead, we headed over to Europe trying to take out the last European player, but he had so many golden apples, so it was a long fight.
He's gapping. We gotta make sure it's gap train.
I'm killing Kel.
Bob, there's a guy
He's
above.
dead.
I hit him.
Watch out, stop critting each other.
Okay, ouch.
Stabbed you guys. He got me at the water. Welcoming you on your own.
It's fine.
Memorize the guys. I'm coming with you,
Get
Sika.
up,
Wait,
get
no.
up.
Hutch is low.
Okay, I'm getting help out. Help is very low.
Yeah, he's very low, bro.
Help.
I hit him. He's
Nice. All right. Go Aussie. Go against Aussie. The last team remaining in the Super Bowl was the Australians. They had the upper hand as they were higher up. Thankfully, our team was already on it and climbing the walls as we speak. I started bowing from below, trying to knock out as many players as I could, or at least get rid of as many hearts as I could. After that, I went up and started fighting alongside my team. Get up, get up, get up. I'm going after Mister.
So, who's fighting me? Someone's fighting me? Okay.
This is South American.
Sicko, you got 2 on you. I'm coming to you.
I know, one's dead. They're very bad. I'm sorry,
But
they're
if you
very
welcome
bad.
him.
Wait,
One guy's down.
JQ.
Yes,
One
get
guy's
Mister.
down, one
Mister's
guy's
down.
down.
Mister's down. Mister's down.
JQ, kill JQ. Yes.
Get him.
Get him, boys. Yes, we're so powerful.
There's a rhino.
Got Mister. Got Mister.
Dead.
Get Raikou. Get the chestplate guy. Get the chestplate guy. Chestplate guy now.
Nice.
This fight took an extremely long time. This was the exact reason I decided to betray South America. This man right here had brought forward netherite and diamond gear, and it took all 8 of our players to take him down. We rushed him throughout the coliseum and outside of it at some points. This guy was an absolute menace. The amount of gapples, the gear he had, if we didn't kill South America and have the player lead, we could have easily died to this singular player. At some points, it was a one-on-one while my team was struggling to get in, but I was keeping up, trading hits with this guy the entire time. There was no way I was letting him out of my sight. He was easily the best player that I fought so far, or maybe it was the fact that he had huge gear, but he went down just as hard. Eventually, my team and I were able to single him off and kill him finally. Oh my word, it took forever. Nice, let's go! With the Australians sent back to the land down under, it was only 2 people on the Asia team left. They were taken out by 2 of our members almost instantly, meaning that we had just won. We were the last nation standing and had taken over the entire planet. We won! We won!
Yes.
We're all dead.
Go. Let's go.
Let's go!
Let's go.
Overall, our team had more than 50 kills combined, which means that we technically took out half the planet. We met in the middle for a final screenshot commemorating the win that we had just gotten. And that was it. 100 players scattered across tons of nations, tried to work out peace, and ended up with violence. As much fun as it was participating in the event, it was even better to see how the world would react in this sort of situation. Players went from peaceful farming to all-out brawls. From forming alliances to cutting them off within seconds. Things got rough, but North America came out on top and won the World War. If you guys want to see more of these videos, make sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be hosting my very own 100 players event very soon. If you want to participate, make sure to go down below and join my Discord as I will be announcing everything there. Again, thanks to Project Arrival for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.